That concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Hefner. The next item is our public participation. And before we start, I'll let you know that the board welcomes and encourages public participation. And we provide a time at each meeting to have public participation. We respectfully ask that you adhere to the procedures and decorum provided in Board Policy BEDH, public participation at meetings. Your comments should be limited to 3 minutes, and Mr. Harris will hold up a sign when we get close to that time frame of 1 minute. And any question that you might have in public participation, if you will put it in writing, we'll try to get you a written response in a very timely manner. So with that, we have to signed up is Tracy Moore and Gretchen Dillon Sawyer. I assume you folks are going to speak together. Okay.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you folks tonight. Really, it's a quick discussion with you about communication and safety for our children. And I'll let Tracy go ahead and oh, thank you.
As Gretchen said, I'm Tracy Moore. This is Gretchen. These are our children, Zach and Brewer. On February 2nd, 2016, these young men were enrolled at the afternoon safari program that is hosted here at CIS. An altercation occurred between a counselor and these two young men, and these boys were assaulted. This young man was placed in a chokehold and dragged down a hallway. And this young man, in defense of this young man, was slammed up against a wall and dropped to the floor by that counselor. Counselor has been fired. A criminal investigation was issued, and the young man has been arrested and charged with assault. What we're here today asking is that CIS and this board step up and make all parents aware of the fact that this incident has occurred, that a counselor has been fired, and that a criminal investigation is pending, or excuse me, charges have been filed. ICRC was made aware of the incident. The incident was caught on videotape here at the school, and the ICRC refuses to notify parents that the incident has occurred. Parents are getting phone calls from the Sheriff's Department wanting to interview their children, and they know nothing about it because the staff and counselors at ICRC instructed these young men and the rest of the students who attend that program not to tell anyone what happened. We ask that CIS make these parents aware and that somebody do right by these kids, not only these two, but the rest of the kids involved in that program, so that their parents are made aware and can make an informed decision as to whether or not they want to keep their kids in that program. I apologize if I'm a little bit nervous, but when something like this happens with your children and people aren't doing the right thing, you're going to step up and ask that somebody do the right thing. Excuse me. I don't want to take up any more of your time.
We do feel that a program like this is essential, especially in Chapin. There are very limited opportunities for parents to have after-school program opportunities. And that's something that both Tracy and myself have faced is what opportunities do other parents have. So the opportunity for there to be transparency, open communication, and yet safety for our kids is what we're asking for this board to consider, because it is essential for us to have something available for parents here, but it needs to be something that has all of those three things attached to it. That's what we're asking for the board to consider.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moore and Ms. Dillon Sawyer. And I can tell you that the board has just been made aware very recently about this incident, and it is certainly something that we take very seriously because we have contracts for after-school programs, and those are reviewed periodically. So I feel sure that the things you've asked for as far as safety and open communication and just a good environment to be in, we will certainly be in communication with them about that. But we do understand there's an investigation going on with in the Irmo Chapin Recreation Commission and the Lexington Sheriff's Department. So I thank you for bringing your concerns tonight.
Well, I did mention one other thing, that not to make a complaint against CIS because my child loves this school. CIS, I believe, has a duty that when they're informed of an incident of this nature, they don't defer it to the Irmo Chapin Rec Commission to handle. The young man who committed this infraction was back on this school campus after the incident happened because no one informed the police or the district that a no trespass order needed to be issued. And he was back interacting with the very same children who were affected by what took place. I don't know what Chapin Intermediate School or any other school's policy for that is, but schools should be taking it upon themselves to have that handled instead of deferring it to someone else.
All right. Well, thank you again
Thank
for
you.
bringing your concern, and I promise you we'll be looking into it thoroughly with Irmo Chapin and the investigators.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And those are the only folks that have signed up and concludes our public participation. And that brings us to our items considered in executive session, number 13, which would be our selected employment items, Exhibit A. Do I have a motion? Ms. Bumgarner.